and will work hard to save you money. You can visit cleatsauto.com or call today at 573-317-6664.
And we are back. It is halftime, and I don't have an XLR cable in there like I thought I did. Oh, I wonder what I did with that. No, I'll have to find that in a minute. It has been a competitive first half of play, back and forth lead changes, to say the least. 25-22, the Tipton ladies hold the edge at, well, the half, as I said. But, Ryan, the first half showed this is still anyone's game.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think going into it, we knew that these teams were pretty even, despite having a Class 2 state champion and then a Class 1 quarterfinalist. It was just glaringly obvious as you looked at who was returning from both teams that, like, these were both top teams in their classes, and it was a matchup that everyone was really intrigued to see. I'm sure that's why Rolla put it together, or whoever decided to put it together, put it on this stage, and I think that it's opening up what will be a really good weekend of basketball here for them.
And I'm just looking, this has been a game of runs. Tipton started out 8-0. It really looked like the Lady Cardinals were going to do whatever they wanted, and it's like Macks Creek just needed a second to wake up and remember, oh, hey, we're playing basketball today. And they put together a 5-0 run of their own to answer, and Tipton would give them a bucket back, and they traded blows back and forth. After one quarter, it was 17-13. Macks Creek came out ready to go, got the first bucket of the second half before Tipton finally had an answer. And next thing you know, Macks Creek went on another 5-0 run. We were tied at 20 apiece. Find ourselves at 25-22. Tipton scoring by quarter 17-8. Macks Creek 13-9. So Tipton won the first quarter. Macks Creek won the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think what helped Macks Creek was they really opened up their bench. They ran a few people off, and also they had just a balanced attack. You know, they've got they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, they've got 5 players that have scored, so their entire starting lineup has gotten a bucket, and it's not really been anyone that's taken center stage. Ratliff does lead with 7, and then Seaholm has 6, but you've got a few other supporting casts in there that have made sure to keep this one close.
Well, it's been an exciting affair, and I think, even though we knew, I don't want to say we knew. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. I had not seen Macks Creek prior to this game. I'd heard the stories. I'd seen the stats. I saw last year as they were taking a lot of Class 1 schools to the cleaners by 40, 50 points. But it's one of those things you don't know what to think, because you're looking at Tipton's schedule last year, and you're like, oh, you know, they were running through 4 and 5 schools. Right. This isn't going to be a thing. Well, I'm starting to understand why now. Macks Creek, it's not only that they can score. Their defense is physical. They take away passing lanes. They know when to double on the block. This is a very good Macks Creek team.
It seems like Coach Dugan has some very good defensive philosophies that he's instilled in them. They're kind of throwing something different towards this Tipton team a little every single time down the course. Sometimes they'll double from the weak side. Sometimes they'll double from the defender right next to him. And you always get these drills in basketball practice. They're called the shell drills. And, you know, you sit around the key and you run your defense and talk about who's going to help. It seems like it's different every single time they go down the court. It's almost like they have multiple options when they're in their man defense as to what they're going to do. And it's really throwing off this Tipton team. Now, I will say I think that Coach Culpepper and Tipton is definitely going to have a few adjustments to throw at the Macks Creek team here at halftime, just realizing what's going on and saying, hey, like, we have ways to beat this. We just got to be smart about it. But then again, for Macks Creek on the offensive end, they've had some looks where they've just thrown the ball away and it was open. So it's definitely, there's room for improvement for them on the offensive end, but there's a lot of room for improvement for Tipton on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's one of those I look at, and to me, that's a sign of 2 great defenses doing battle, because if you're
physical defenses for sure.
Absolutely. If you're Tipton, you came in with a simple mindset. Hey, we know they're a very good squad, but we also know they have a returning all-state player in India Willis, and we want to try to slow her down. They've done a good job of that, but credit to Macks Creek, because when your 22-point-per-game scorer gets limited, you would think, all right, they're not going to be able to put up points. Well, they've put up 22 points on their own without trouble, so that's big when you can get your other players to score in that way, knowing that India's struggling, because I don't think it's going to stay that way. India will find a way to get her points. She's had some looks that just didn't quite fall.
Yeah, Willis was 5th in the state with 15 double-doubles last year. She averaged 1. It's going to come, and that's kind of the scary thing whenever you think about it, is the fact that they're still I said in the first quarter, they're still very much in this game, and your star player isn't really playing that well. Kind of frustrated, went to the bench. We didn't see her again. But you know she's coming back here in the second half.
Absolutely. And a reminder, this just starts to our season. We're going to do a game or 2 or 50 this year. And next Tuesday, I will be with Jason Vansel. We will be in Eugene, a big matchup between the Versailles Tigers and the Eugene Eagles. That gym has some history with those two schools, as one of the first games I remember doing was when Versailles had the new Grinnell system they were running, and Eugene has lived by the run and gun offense their entire life, and I think the final score was like 120 something to 114. Now you're bringing out a Versailles squad full of big, fast athletes, and a kid who has led the state in scoring the last 2 years, and I think may score more this year, taking on a Eugene squad that I've heard has a couple new faces. They were very good last year. It's going to be a battle, but you can catch that game on all the same platforms as this one. And then I know I'm going to be seeing Ryan and Jason and maybe even some other special guests, as we will be up at the Tipton tournament, which has a very loaded field this year, a lot of very good teams. The Tipton ladies won that tournament last year in an overtime thriller against California, and I think we're going to have more games, more great games from that tournament again this year. Ryan, have you ever been in the Tipton gym?
I've never been in Tipton gym. This is the first time I've seen. Well, actually, I take that back. That's not true. I did see this Tipton Lady Cardinals team play Blue Eye. I think it was 2 years ago. It was actually in Nixa, which is where I did games at before. So it was just I didn't do the game, but I watched it.
I may have been there,
but I did not ever make it to Tipton's gym. So.
If it counts for anything, I didn't know if I'd ever been to Nixa, but I bet I was in Nixa for that game.
It was a really good game. I remember it was big win for Tipton.
Oh yeah, well, we've done a lot of games.
Or no, excuse me, Tipton lost. It was a big win for Blue Eye. I think it was a 1-point game.
Really?
It was a really good game.
Oh, now you got me thinking. Well, we can talk more about it in just a moment. We're about ready for second half play. We'll take the break, come back with more. You're listening to KS95 Sports.
Captain Ron's Bar and Grill is a proud supporter of local athletes here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Captain Ron's would like to wish the Macks Creek Lady Pirates good luck in their game against the Tipton girls at the Bluefish Shootout in Rolla this Friday. Captain Ron's would also like to wish everyone a safe and happy holidays and want to thank all of you for such a great year. And they can't wait to see you again this spring at Captain Ron's Bar and Grill.
The Tipton Latham Bank is a locally owned and operated full-service independent community bank serving the area since 1906. The Tipton Latham Bank N.A. is an equal housing lender and a member FDIC. The Tipton Latham Bank is a proud supporter of local high school athletics. Stop by the Tipton or Latham branch or visit TiptonLathamBank.com.
Just about ready for second half play here in Rolla. After one half, Macks Creek trails Tipton by just 3 points, 25-22. The defending Class 2 state champion Tipton Lady Cardinals and a team in Macks Creek, a 20-plus win team who last year found their season come to an end by just 1 point. Was that in the Elite Eight?
Yeah, in the Elite Eight, they took on Leeton, who finished fourth place, but they were so close. They went 1 for 12 from the three-point line. You'd think like one of those goes in and then you win the basketball game, you know?
And I love one thing that I've learned about these winning programs. Coach Culpepper years ago adopted the mentality of we are going to add big opponents. He told me for years, I don't care if I go and play a bigger school and they pop us in the mouth, because as long as my girls compete and we learn and we get better playing those big schools, I don't care what my regular season record is. I want to go to the postseason and win because of it. When I talked to Ron Dugan before the game and I asked him, about this year, and he goes, we weighted down the schedule. We went ahead and we've got Leeton on the schedule this year. We found the powerhouses around here and we have scheduled them to play them. And I love that mentality for a program because that's how you get good. The best want to play the best.
It's just like we said in the pregame. Last year, Macks Creek played Osage in this showcase, and Tipton played Ozark, both Class 5 and 4 schools. Here's a layup, and missed it. So
Williams' floater comes up just short off the front iron, and fighting for the rebound, Clara Williams went over the back trying to keep it alive. They'll get her for the first foul of the half.
Coach Culpepper's got to be frustrated about that one, because I'm sure they talked about how it was going to be open, and that's what the play they wanted to run, and it was open, and then you just miss off the front rim a little bit.
I almost think that's an example of sometimes you're so open that it makes you think about your shots.
Probably expecting a defender there, if we're being honest, and there was just no one there when she turned the corner.
Down to the block is Macks Creek.
Yeah, there it is.
India Willis, we knew she wasn't going to be quiet for long. She gets the first bucket of the second half, 24-25. It's a 1-point game.
Yeah, that's a scary sight if you're a Tipton Lady Cardinals fan. You don't want to let her get going. Definitely want to emphasize the interior defense.
Tipton with that weave now. It is Schlotthauer, top of the key, long strides, left hand off the glass and scores.
I think it's going to be a battle of the bigs here in the second half. Both teams showed that it was going to be open in the first half. They didn't go back to it, but They might hear.
Ava Schlotzauer is just a sophomore, played big minutes as a freshman, and a near steal from Edwards. It is a steal from Courtney Edwards. They call her the Badger for a reason. Courtney will push it up the floor, trying the full-length court pass, gets it to Williams. She gives a shot fake, puts floater up and in. 29-24. Now, you talked about if you're a Tip fan, I will say this, if you're Macks Creek, you do not want to let Tipton start an offensive run. They can put points up in a hurry.
Yeah, you don't want to get in an offensive battle here. You almost want to try to hold the ball a little bit more offensively if you're Macks Creek.
Look at this defense from Bailey. That is foot movement taken away from Ratliff, and Edwards blocks the shot on the block. Lady Cardinals have turned up the defensive intensity this first minute and a half. Williams attacking from the left side, gives it up to Edwards. She steps into a three, goes off the front iron short, and tracked down by Ratliff. Tipton going full court pressure now with a couple of their guards before pulling it back. Quickly the other way is Macks Creek trying a long pass, but Edwards was there. She's racked up 2 blocks and 2 steals in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
It's funny how when you start scoring on the offensive end here's a shot for Schlotzauer.
Left hand, she couldn't get the board, tried to slap it away, but what a strong physical rebound by India Willis.
But it's funny how when you start scoring on the offensive end, your defensive effort picks up.
And Willis just weaving through traffic off the glass and in. 29-26. So all that offense that we couldn't find in the second quarter has been found in the first 2.5 minutes of this third quarter.
And both teams look like they already need a breather running up and down the court this hard.
Bailey, the shot fake, attacks it. A little scoop shot from the right side, up and in. Charlie Bailey, 31-26, the Tipton lead, 5:25 to go in the third. Back the other way, Macks Creek running a little pick and roll game. Dugan on the point. A give and go back to Dugan, left hand off the glass, rolls off the iron, rebound Schlotzauer. She wants to run. Williams ahead of her. Good job getting back by Macks Creek on defense. Bailey, she's got a shot about 5 feet behind the line. Instead, gives it up to Schlotzauer. Spin move, gets to the block near steal, but a great pass to Edwards. A shot just short. I think that's another. Courtney was so open.
Yeah. Just expected defender there. I think it's interesting how both these teams who shot so many threes is they're going to get it inside here. But they shot so many threes in the first half now want to go to the basket.
And look at that, India Willis. I think she wanted the shot one step earlier, but it wasn't there, so she used the length of her strides to draw the contact and get herself to the free throw line.
It's definitely something interesting. If you could keep attacking Schlotzauer and, give her another foul here in the next minute, then you're thinking about getting her off the floor and opening up that paint for India Willis, who's starting to heat up.
As the first free throw is short for Willis. Actually, I think that foul went against Clara Williams.
Oh, you're right, it did.
Or, well, no. Now I'm confused because they gave it to 50, and there's not a 50 on the floor.
I think surely it was on. Yeah,
there it is. It was on Schlotzauer, her second.
But, you give her a third with less or more than 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, you start thinking about getting her off the court.
That is not the free throw rim. Tipton struggled with it in the first quarter, and now both free throws are short for Willis. Pressure full court from Macks Creek. We'll see how Tipton handles it. Quickly ahead to the corner. It's bobbled and picked up by the Lady Pirates. Full court pressure works. Quickly back the other way. That is Klinksick. Gives it up to Ratliff. They had the open man. Seaholm was by herself, but the pressure caused her to not be seen. To the block. India, step back. Shot too strong off the back iron. Rebound goes to Hagerman.
You mentioned full court pressure. Cole Prepper in an interview last night after the Jamboree said full court pressure was something they struggled with. Here's a deep three.
Charlie Bailey with that in the gym range. It means if she's in the gym, she's in range. She proves it right there. 34-26. Tipton has opened up their biggest lead of the game again at 8. What do you do with that? That's 5 feet behind the line.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do about it. And they've done a good job all night of making sure she has a hand in her face, or at least someone in the vicinity. But I think that it took her a second to realize, okay, I'm the scorer. Just because there's someone 2 feet in front of me doesn't mean I can't shoot the ball. If there's no hand in my face, I think the term is hand down, man down. I'm shooting.
No, and that is, I can tell you right now that Charlie has a green enough light that you can see it from space. This has been a 9-4 run to start the second half from the Tipton ladies. 34-26 is the Lady Cardinal lead with 4:03 to go in this third quarter of play. Good time out there by Coach Dugan, which I got to show a little love to both these coaches. I don't know what was said and what adjustments were made at the half, but
they came out ready to play.
Absolutely, both these squads did. So tip of the cap to both these coaching staffs for knowing the right adjustments to make to get the offenses going.
I believe actually that was a Tipton timeout.
Culpepper has told me this before, that he will call timeouts after a run because he doesn't want his girls to get overexcited about a big play and then give something up. So he calms them down and resets them so the defense is ready. And a different look here, almost like an inverted flex from Macks Creek. And it's going to be Willis. She thought about the shot. Shot fake, drives, flips it up on the run. Good defense by Edwards. She comes down with the board as well. Bailey back the other way quickly, middle of the floor, takes on the double team, gives it up. Hagerman had the shot, didn't want it, gives it up to Bailey. Top of the key, Schlotthauer, quick shot, fade, attacks with a right hand off the glass and scores.
That's a grown woman move right there that she just pulled out as a sophomore in high school. That was fantastic. I mean, that's like a college level move.
This is not the same freshman I saw last year. I'm here to tell you, I know there's a lot of people, Tipton lost a lot. They're just fine, I promise. Attacking with the right side, right hand off the glass, nearly fell. A good take by Ratliff, but she'll go to the line for two. That foul going to go on Charlie Bailey, just her second.
Ratliff looking to get her first points here of the second half after averaging 7 in the first half. She had led the Pirates and gets that one to go.
Cuts the lead back down to single digits. 36-27 is the Tipton lead with 3:07 to go.
I really think if you're Macks Creek, you got to think about slowing down on these next few offensive possessions. The more time you give Tipton with the ball, the more they're going to score. You don't want to get in a shootout here.
Second free throw long. Bailey gets it, going the length of the floor, attacking the basket, and is foul on the shot. She'll go to the line for two.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it just seems like Tipton is in their comfort zone when they can get out and run on you.
Yeah, and clearly someone reminded Bailey the type of ball player she was, because all of a sudden it's like she wants to take over and be the leader of this offense, which is what we kind of expected to see as she connects on the first free throw.
Well, I tell you, she is a leader out there, and if you talk to Coach Culpepper about it, he'll tell you that her and Courtney are both very emotional leaders and tone-setting leaders. Long rebound fought for and controlled by Durrell. A good job fighting off Edwards. But it's amazing to have that kind of veteran leadership out there, that when things get tough, those are the girls. I mean, we saw what Edwards did defensively to start the half.
Edwards really set the tone for the second half.
She did, and then Bailey has answered it offensively. Near steal by Edwards. Macks Creek on the offensive end trying to spread out this Tipton defense. Overplaying a bit was Edwards, but good ball movement. India with the ball at the top of the key. Sticking with this weave-style offense. Dugan will drive, working against Williams. Gets with the left hand, has to force a shot up. It's too strong. Recovered by Clara Williams after some impressive defense.
Defense has been good, but it really wasn't a great shot. There's a wide open lane.
They left the lane open, and Clara Williams said, sure, I'll do a right-handed layup. I've practiced those before. 39-27. Tipton has opened up a 12-point lead with 2:14 to go in this third quarter. We'll take the break and be back in just a moment. You're listening to KS95 Sports.
Stauffer Tire and Motor Service is proud to support the Macks Creek Lady Pirates and their quest to bring home the win against Tipton this Friday. Stauffer Tire and Motor Service has been serving the Macks Creek community since 1975. They're a Napa service center, offering full service from routine maintenance to major engine repairs and 24-hour wrecker service. Call Stauffer Tire and Motor Service today, 573-363-5478.
And what an impressive 6 minutes of basketball here in the third quarter by the Tipton ladies. And I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to be biased in this. Macks Creek is playing fantastic. But the defense that we have seen out of Tipton in this second half, I mean, Tipton thus far has given up a total of 5 points in this third quarter in 6 minutes of play. While on the flip side of that, Tipton has rattled off 14 of their own. So a 14-5 run to open up a 12-point lead.
Well, I think what's more impressive about the defensive effort is that they're taking about 10 seconds on their offensive possessions and then going down on the other end and guarding for 45 seconds. And then it's tough to do that. Sometimes, you fall asleep, leave someone open. They're not doing that. They are guarding tough and forcing turnovers and bad shots and then going and running out fast on the other end.
I can tell you from experience, I have seen games where Tipton put up 65, 70 points or more, and you think afterwards, boy, Coach Culpepper's not going to have a bad word to say. And afterwards, all he wants to say is, we gave up 28. I didn't feel like we should have gave up 28. I mean, that is the mantra and the mindset they have. But Macks Creek has shown they can battle back in this situation. Only down by 12. You got a lot of time left, but you got to take it one possession at a time. On offense, 3 ball on the way for Macks Creek. Halfway down and back out. A good-looking shot there would fall from Durrell. Lady Cardinals back the other way. Edwards, middle of the floor, dishes it out. Wide open three for Anna. Crane up and good.
Crane with her first points of the season, and that's where